Love it or hate it, when it comes to the RX8, there's no really a true mid-ground on how people actually feel about this car. Because you have one group of people who actually love this car, they think it's one of the greatest cars that Mazda ever created, right behind the RX-7s. Personally, I think the RX-7s series are the greatest cars that Mazda ever came out with because they're iconic. And you have another group of people in the car community that don't want to get near this car. They think it's one of the worst cars that Mazda ever developed. And that's their opinion. We don't really know why. And today we're going to figure that out. Because at the end of the day, when you think about a rotary car, all you want to hear is that cool prop, prop, prop sound. Personally, that's all I love. So today we're going to start a brand new series called Love It or Hate It. And I don't think there's any better car than to start with the RX8. So guys, let's see why people actually love this car or why they hate it, and see what's your opinion when you stand. You love it or you hate it. The RX-8 came out in 2003 as Mazda's next power sports car after the RX-7, but instead making another hardcore two-seater sports car, Mazda went a complete different route, giving it 4 seats, these unique rear hinge doors, and making it something that you can actually daily drive. But to be honest, between me and you, I'm not big fans of those rear door hinge. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of it. I just don't like the design standpoint of it. Also, there isn't like a support beam in the middle, so if you get T-bone, you're kind of cooked, brother. But that's just something different. But now this is gonna be a hot take, but to me, I feel like the RX8 felt like it was gonna be the 4th gen RX7, but they never called it the RX7 because it felt like Mazda didn't want to destroy and take a risk on the RX7's name, because that's their legend. That's like their legendary car. They don't want to hurt that legendary legacy of it, so they decided to make a whole different car, give it its own thing, called the RX8. It still had the rotary power, but just in case of the car flop, it didn't hurt the RX-7 legacy. The RX-8 had a whole different mission than the RX-7. But now let's talk about the RX-8's trims. To start off, you had the base model, and it was the Sport RX-7. Then next up, you had the Touring. Then after that, you had the Grand Sport, and the best one all, the R3. The R3 is like what they have learned in the past about the other trims. The R3 is possibly the best RX-8 that you can get because they had like upgraded suspension, Recaro seats, it had like sunroof, leather interior, heated seats, it had all the goodies. And like what they have learned in the previous RX-8, they kind of fixed it on this one. So if you want to get like a nice RX-8, get the R3 because that comes with everything. But to me, I ain't gonna lie to you, I would get a base model RX-8 because you can always add fog lights, you can always like put better seats than just Recaros in there. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, all the RX-8 came with the same motor. So what was the point of buying a nice expensive higher end trim? At the end of the day, it has the same motor. The only big difference that these cars had was the transmission. If you had a manual transmission, you can make more power than the automatic. So if you like going fast, if you want that car to rev all the way up like it's supposed to be, I think it hits like 9,000 RPMs, get the manual transmission. So between me and you, like I said, get the base model. You can always add the fog lights. You can always put different seats. You can always put better speakers and that stuff. So don't pay that big, crazy market for a Touring, a Grand Touring, or R3. Just get the Sport and build it the way you want it. Now here's why I still think people love the RX-8. The building potential for this car is insane. You can do mostly anything to an RX-8. You can build it to a drift car, a time attack car, a nice street car, an OEM plus kind of car, a stance car if you're into that. You can build it into a track car. I know when I go to a drag strip, a lot of people who are going really fast, they all have rotaries in their cars because the rotary is at its peak when it's revving very high and is at the quarter mile. If you want to go fast, get yourself an RX-8, a base model one, like I keep saying, save all that money, put a better differential in that car, add a turbo, and put some slicks, and go into bracket racing. You can go 1150 class, a 1050 class, you work your way up to 950 class. There's so many things you can do to RX-8, which is mad dope. But let's say you're not a fan of the motor. That's totally fine because there's so many swaps you can do to this car. That's what the aftermarket support scene comes for this. You can 1JZ swap it, 2JZ swap, LS swap, K swap. There's so many things you can do to this car, which is so great because I know personally when I'm trying to get into a car, I would like to see it have a crazy aftermarket sports scene because you can build this car how you want to do it, and that's pretty dope. But what's better than having a great aftermarket sports scene is having a great community. The rotary community overall, RX-7 community, the RX-8 community, they're all in one community, and it's so dope how they care about each other and they look out for each other. And if you ever need anything to like figure out problems that you're having with your car, you can just go on to Reddit. And there's so many forums that you can go and figure out the stuff you have. And if you can't figure it out, you can ask people in the community and they will 100% reach out to you and help you and guide you so you can fix that problem. And that's pretty dope. Let's be honest. In an RX-8 today, in this world we live in, it stands out. Whenever you see it on the road, it breaks your neck, you gotta do a double take because that's an RX8. Or even any rotary car like RX7, you gotta do a double take because rarely you see those cars. So when you go to the car meets, you go to the car shows, you're gonna bring so much attention to those cars than just a basic BMW, than just a Charger, a Hellcat, because you see that every single day. When you don't see something every single day, that's where people go to and they want to take pictures of that. And that's why you buy a rotary. You want all the attention that you can get. But this is all the good stuff about the rotary. This is all the good stuff about the RX8. We gotta talk about the bad because it's always bad when it comes to good stuff. We can't like blind ourselves with all the great stuff. So this is why so many people hate the RX8 or despise the RX8 or even are scared to even think about buying one. The gas mileage sucks on this car. The rotary naturally burns so much oil. You got the iconic jokes about your apex seals that you always gotta do the premix, stuff like that. Rebuilding the engine of these cars are mad expensive. And because of all that, and there's gonna be more. I'm not listing on because, again, I still have to do so much research about this. The RX8 earned a reputation that people think is unreliable, that it's not a great car you should get into. And I can see why people are not a fan of it because you don't want to spend so much money in the car. You don't want to have a money pit. But rotary parts are expensive. That's how they are because they're unique motors. They're not the same motors you're going to go get that you see every single day, like a V8. V8 parts are way cheaper than rotary. Honda parts are way cheaper than that too. But that is a lifestyle you choose when you pick a rotary, to be honest. But I personally think if this car was an RX-7, if we're talking about an RX-7 right now, I think people will be okay spending money because at the end of the day, the car is worth value, has so much money. Like, you can like make your money back if you're investing in that car. With the RX-8, I don't think you're going to make your money back. But we got to realize this is the closest rotary car that you're going to get. I know for me, if I was getting into a rotary, this is going to be the closest car that I can get to an RX-7 because RX-7 costs a lot of money. So if you want to get into the rotary scene, I think it's the best car for you to get into. Ignore all the hate. You're always going to get hate when stuff like this. And the hate's true, though. Like, it is expensive to fix. It is bad on gas. But you're not buying a rotary car for liability. You're buying a rotary car because you want to hear that prompt sound. You want to stand out in front of everyone. But here's what a lot of people don't talk about. There is things that you can do to the RX8 to prolong the health of it. Here's the thing what people don't tell you about the RX8. There's tips and tricks that you can do to prolong the health of your rotary. And yes, it's time consuming as butt to do it and stuff like that, but it's great for your car and it's gonna help you save money in the long run. And that's why I think people hate it, because it's like little tedious things you have to do, and people don't have the time for that or patience for that. But like, always letting your motor warm up to temp before you're driving your car. Let it warm up all the way up where it's supposed to be at. Always checking your oil constantly. Stay on top of your maintenance. Always changing your spark plugs. I think every 20,000 miles or every 10,000 miles. Those little things can save your pockets in the long run. And there's a lot of other things you could buy for your rotary motor. Like, I seen people buy, I don't know the full thing of it, but it's like you can always add fresh oil into the motor constantly so it doesn't use recycle, like the dirty oil. That's pretty dope, I ain't gonna lie. There's like little things like that that the community comes up with and make that pretty great, I ain't gonna lie to you. But here's the thing. The biggest mistake when people think about an RX8 or even rotaries overall is treating it like if it's like a Honda Civic. It's not a Civic. It's not like a Honda Civic. Like, you can just turn it on, drive it, change your oil whenever you want. It's not like that. This car needs attention, and that's totally fine. You have to understand the car is different. It's not like your basic car. It's a different lifestyle that you're choosing. So always stay on top of those maintenance. It's going to help you in the long run. And once you have the maintenance correctly down, the enjoyment you get from that car when it's fully working, it's going to put a great smile on your face. And that's the love of the RX8. So guys, I love it or hate it when it comes to RX8. Personally, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I love the RX8. I really want to get one. Hope in a year I can get myself an RX8, because my dream car is really an FC RX7. But I know you have to spend a pretty good amount of money to get yourself a nice, decent one that's not with a blow motor, has like a nice body, not rusted. It might have a little dents in here, but a decent body. You're going to have to spend some money on it. So I'd rather get the poor man RX7 and get the RX8, because at the end of the day, all I really want to hear is that pra 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 sound. I love that stuff. But there's a lot of things that you have to worry about. Like, yes, the maintenance is terrible on these cars, and you always have to spend so much money on making sure everything's there. There's mods you can do to this car to prolong the health of this car. But I think that's the experience and the lifestyle that you choose when you get a rotary car. So like I said, I love this car, but you might not actually love this car. And if you hate it, it's okay, because that's the car community. You're never gonna love something what other people really like. So let me know down below. Do you love the RX8 or you hate the RX8? And I'm your boy VTech Ali, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one.